Welcome, everybody, to Night of the Nerdy Laser Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Richard. Don't go pussy on me, Yule.
And I'm Jeff Lown.
Welcome to episode 135, possibly?
Yes.
Awesome. And we are talking about Eduardo Sanchez's Altered from 2006.
Yep. Right here in.
Oh, look at Jeff owning something.
Here in the DVD flesh.
Does it have a Blu-ray?
No, it doesn't.
Or you would have upgraded it and sent me that DVD?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is if you don't know Eduardo Sanchez, you do. He's done a ton of stuff, and he's still doing stuff. He's doing TV mainly now, but I mean, he started off with the banger, the Blair Witch Project, which I have never seen.
I don't know how you did that, but hey, all right.
I mean, very purposefully. Like, I mean, it was done. I mean, it was just one of those things in '99. Like, I don't know, people talked about it too much, and I mean, I wasn't really that into horror. Like, I wasn't seeing like every horror movie or anything at that time, and it just escaped me. Well, really, what it was is one of my friends rented it, and he. So this is the best, right? So he rented it. It's on tape, right?
Yeah.
VHS. So he rented it and on VHS, and he was watching it, and like the tape, it was just this is what he says. It was just getting good and the tape messed up. And it like stopped or whatever. So he took it back to the store and got another copy, come home. It was the very end.
Like it broke right at the end.
Yeah, like when they go into the building or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Like, so he told me this, and I mean, he basically described the movie as boring, building, end. And so that probably had some, some influence on why I haven't seen it.
Yep. Well, guess what? Episode 150, special episode. Richard covers Blair Witch 1, 2, and the remake thing.
Ooh.
I like 2.
I've heard 2 is good.
I think it's gained more of a following, now. But when it came out, people were like, "This ain't the Blair Witch. What is this?" Like,
yeah, I heard people were all pissed off about it.
It's like, how many found footages can you find of the Blair Witch? It was cool what they did, that they incorporated it into like the story of the film, of the fictional film or whatever, not just doing the same premise. Like, okay, we get it. And because the media surrounding the first Blair Witch was like crazy. Like they had the website, they had like that book that came with it. I have the book now. I bought it, I think, used somewhere, but it just like built this background and history and like all this stuff. And you're like, wow, they really put a lot into movies back then. Now they don't care. They just pump out the same garbage over and over, but whatever. But yeah, like they had that whole lore and everything set up. They had those people doing the interviews at the beginning of Blair Witch, creating like this fake backstory for her, like just random stuff. So it's pretty cool. And, with the budget they had, that's the most impressive part. That's the thing you hear about, is the budget was super small, and it's one of the highest grossing films like of all time. And Paranormal Activity.
I was going to say until Paranormal Activity came along.
Yeah, they piggybacked on the idea and did the same thing essentially, and just made Blum. It seems like we talk about Jason Blum every week, but that dude knows what he's doing, I guess, because he's got big dollars. Big dollars.
Big dollar holler. I mean, yeah. It was huge. I mean, they did the Cannibal Holocaust thing, right? Like, I mean, and it had been years since that had been done, so they treated like it was real, and people believed it. I mean, the internet was around, but not massive. And even though it, I mean, in '99, I mean, it was it was getting there. It was still in its infancy. Yeah. But I mean, at least to the wide audience, and so you didn't have social media or anything. Right. So, people just believed it. I mean, they just believed it, that it was real, and that fueled people wanting to see it. This cast, I want to talk about this cast.
Talk about them.
It's crazy.
Why?
Because, I mean, First off, I mean, I'll start off with immediately I knew who this man was. We have none other than fucking Lou Brown from Major League
Yeah.
in this fucking movie. I mean, 25 years after Major League.
Yeah, I'm glad that Major League works its way into our podcast from time to time.
Me too, because I would cover that movie in a heartbeat if we weren't just horror.
Yeah. Baseball season starting, so
dude, I could have been blindfolded, and as soon as I heard, I mean, I was just waiting for him to say, "Ricky Vaughn, get your ass in," whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome. I love that guy. Like, it was so great. And I was like, but when I saw Major League back in the day, I was like, man, this guy's old. This is 25 years later.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys that inherently looks like 60 at all ages.
There was like a time period from like the 70s until like the late 90s where everybody that was like 35 to like 70 all looked the same age, just all old and grizzled and worn down. Like, what happened during those years that everybody aged so poorly?
I don't know, but I mean, the man was born. He also was in Silver Bullet. But the man was born in 1940.
Yeah. So
he passed away in 2010, so only 4 years after this.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, he's great. I mean, he's not in the movie a ton, but he is in it, and he's good. The other people, let's see. We have Michael C. Williams, who was in the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
So
it was probably just like, you owe me some roles, because I had to sign that affidavit thing saying I couldn't talk or come out of hiding, essentially.
He was also in Satanic Hispanics.
Oh yeah, and that's, as of this recording, that comes out this week, this Friday.
Oh, it does? It's not out already?
No, it'll be on Shudder. It'll be on Shudder.
Oh, I get you.
It came out. Yeah, it did the festival and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. After Blair Witch, he didn't really do anything.
No, I don't think, like I said, I think they signed something that they said they would not act in something or really talk or do anything for like.
I mean, he was in a Law and Order episode in 2000.
Okay.
And then he did another thing in 2000, something else in 2002, Without a Trace in 2003, and then Altered in 2006. And now, I mean, he's just done Law and Order, FBI. I mean, so not much.
Shows up on all the procedurals.
Pretty much. Yeah. So the cast is, we can mention Brad Hinkey.
Yeah, he died not too long
ago. Did he? Oh, he did die. Wonder what from. He's young.
Yeah, he was only, 40, 50, 56?
Sure. It is funny, though. The older I get, the more older ages become younger. Like it's like, oh, they were 65 when they died. Oh, that's young. But when I was like 20, I was like, fucking 65? Jesus Christ. I'd be lucky.
It's never dying.
I know. I mean, that's old. But now I'm like, 65 is not bad. He was in one of my favorite movies. Have you ever seen Choke?
With Sam Rockwell?
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I remember reading the book, I think.
Yeah, I read the book and fell in love with the book by Chuck P. And the movie's good. It's a little different, but it's great.
Yeah.
The book is amazing. If you've never read Choke and you want something that's Fight Club-ish,
yeah,
read Choke. The dude was also in Fury and Pacific Rim. He did a lot. I mean, let's see here. So then we got Adam Kaufman. Yeah. And did you ever watch that Taken miniseries?
No, I
remember it was a huge fucking deal. I mean, it came out in 2002.
The Liam Neeson thing?
No, no, no. The Steven Spielberg produced miniseries.
Oh, is that the Alien thing?
Yeah, and I think it was Sci-Fi or NBC or something like that.
So no, I didn't watch that, but I remember one of the record stores here in town before it closed down had it, and the guy had it priced like some stupid price, and it made me so mad that I didn't pick it up. I kind of wish I did.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
It's good. I mean, it's fine. I remember, but I just remember more so about it of it just being huge. Like, I mean, it was just such a big deal.
Do you think just because Spielberg was attached to it?
I mean, I think that was part of it. I mean, it was a TV miniseries in 2002. It's not like they do a ton of them now or then, you know. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's Aliens and it's Steven Spielberg. So, I mean, obviously that was a big one. So this dude, Adam, he's been in a ton of stuff. Mainly like, I mean, going back to the 90s and 2000s. So he was in 5 episodes of Dawson's Creek, 5 episodes of Buffy. You know, he was in the Taken miniseries, why I brought it up to begin with. Then he was in, of course, this movie, Altered, and then Without a Trace, NCIS, 1 episode of Hawaii Five-0.
Funny how they just go into procedurals.
We got 90210 in here, the remake of 90210. Yeah, yeah. So he was also in 2 episodes of iZombie, so which is also a procedural of some kind, I think.
A zombie one,
like with a twist.
Yeah. Is that the pink-haired girl that's like, I survive on brains or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. And then she knows what happened because she eats part of them.
She eats them, and then I never saw it. It was based on a comic.
Sounds like Chew, that comic book Chew, where the detective would
yeah. Did I send you those?
You sent me a few of them, and I had some too, so it was kind of
cool
because I was able to keep going with it.
Yeah. We also have Cody, the guy that plays Cody, Paul McCarthy Boyanton. He's probably the most standout, right? Like as far as acting, like his character is over the top and like crazy, and got comedy. You know, there's a lot of comedy in there. He's done quite a bit too. He was in an episode of Quantum Leap, the new one, which I quit watching. The chemistry between the 2 main people are it's a nightmare.
Sam,
well, I mean, his name is not Sam, but yeah, the main leaper guy and like his hologram. The problem is they made them like boyfriend girlfriend.
Oh,
but he has amnesia, and so he doesn't remember them being boyfriend and girlfriend. But even when he finds out that they are, the chemistry between the 2 is just a fucking nightmare.
It's just not good.
No, it's not good, and so we just quit watching it. It was fine. We didn't
happen
anything off of it. There were some cool ideas, and Ernie Hudson I loved, but there just wasn't enough to keep us. Okay, so he's done some stuff, but nothing that sticks out. A lot of TV work, like a lot of the other people. Lou Brown, man, James Gammon. That's amazing. I just love. I mean, in Major League, he is just my favorite character. I mean, like, it's a great. I've seen the second one, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, I like the. I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends, like baseball friends, they like 2 better, and I'm like, okay, that's a stupid like hill to die on, but it's good. It's not the worst.
Oh yeah, 2 I've seen. 3 I don't know that I've seen.
Back to the Minors with Scott Bakula or whatever.
Oh, is it? Ooh.
I think so.
Although, have you ever seen Unnecessary Roughness or Necessary Roughness?
Is Burt Reynolds in that?
No, it's
what am I doing?
That's Longest Yard.
No, I knew that. I don't know why I thought he was in Necessary Roughness.
Necessary Roughness is Scott Bakula, Sinbad, Kathy Ireland.
Robert Loggia's in that.
Robert Loggia and the other guy, the problem child grandpa, that's Robert Loggia, right?
I think so. Rob Schneider.
And then the coach.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah, and then the coach. If you've how the fuck have you never seen this movie and you're a sports fan?
I don't like football all that much, but
Dude, it's
it used to be
hilarious.
on HBO. I'm pretty sure
It is solid, man. It's a good movie. It's very funny.
it used to always be on HBO.
It's basically the same exact premise as the what's that Keanu Reeves movie?
The Replacements.
The Replacements.
See, and
Same
I like
fucking
that
premise.
one.
Yeah, same thing but funnier.
Wow. Okay, I'll give it a chance because I like Replacements, Footsteps, Falco, and me and my buddy Peyton would always just say like, if you watch every single play of every single game, Keanu Reeves just takes like devastating hit after hit, and it's like that dude would be so dead. Like, there's no way he's getting up to throw a ball after every play.
Was it because he was making like tiny footsteps, like who was the quarterback for Tampa Bay that used to do that? Brad. Damn it, I can't remember his name. He won the Super Bowl. I mean, he was with him when he won the Super Bowl.
Like 02 or 03 or whatever it was.
Yeah, 02, I think. And he used to do that. He would like just stutter step all the time. Like it's like fuck, that's a lot of work. It seems like.
Couldn't get tired.
No, you have to watch Necessary Roughness. It's great. It's a college football team.
Okay.
And Scott Bakula is like 40, but there's some loophole that he can, because he's in college, and he never finished his before college or whatever. There's some loophole that he can be a quarterback again. And then Kathy Ireland is on the girls' soccer team, I think. And she ends up being the kicker for the team.
So she's like the English drunk guy in The Replacement.
Yes. Yeah. You know, like it is kind of similar. Yeah. Doesn't he owe money?
Yeah, he's a big sports bettor or something like that.
Okay. Well, enough about comedy, right?
No. Guys, so our new podcast format is all comedy all the time.
It's Laughs of the Nerdy Laser starring. Altered 2006. It's an alien movie.
Yeah.
And it's not first person. So I just went into it thinking it was first person. Might have been better.
Shot on like a found footage.
Yeah, I mean, just because I knew he did Blair Witch, and I know he does exist, which we'll be talking about later, and so I just assumed like, oh, this is the alien version of his found footage movies.
Yeah,
and it's not.
No,
but I think it would be cooler.
Yes, I could see it either way, but
well, it would certainly help on not showing the alien as much.
Yeah. I mean. Man, they really do show that thing. They were pretty proud of it.
They were very proud of it.
Why though?
And it's not. We'll get into it. It's not terrible. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great either.
The creature design.
Yeah.
It's.
Okay. I mean, there's so many scenes where you can like see the bends. Like they don't do a good job. Like taking like they jawsed it, right? Like the suit worked and they just kept filming. And then if the shark worked, the movie, even Spielberg has said like the movie probably wouldn't be as good.
Right.
I mean, everybody kind of says that. It's not like a secret.
Yeah.
I mean, because not seeing the thing is more damaging than actually seeing it.
Right.
Well, and if you know it's fake, the more you see it, the more you think it's fake too.
Yeah, your brain's just like starts to pick things apart with it, I think.
Like when he's like, he does this weird thing where when he's standing there, he's like holding his hand like kind of bent back, like I don't know, and he's like walking like this, like it's weird. It's just odd choice of movement. Where I think if they had done something more along the line, and I'm not talking about the face because the face is different, but I'm talking more along the line of like signs. Was the alien in Signs CG or was it somebody?
I think the hands and stuff, because they come in the basement and the hands are coming through the wall to try to get them, I think.
Yeah, but like when they show it.
I want to say it was mostly people, but I also want to say CGI because like the time we see him, you know, the scare that everybody's always scared of from Signs, the TV,
The TV,
right?
that is such a
And then the
brilliant.
other time we see the other alien is the reflection on the TV when Joaquin Phoenix is hitting him with the bat and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So I mean, I think, you know, it could be either way there.
Well, and then you see him holding the boy, you know.
Oh, the camouflage hand on the mouth or whatever, where he's like got him as a hostage essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, good movie.
Oh, I love Signs. We need to do an M. Night Shyamalan, like, I mean, really just Signs and Village. I don't want to watch the others. I mean, Unbreakable is a great movie, but it's not horror. And Sixth Sense, I don't want to watch
The
it.
Visit.
I've never seen it, but I've heard it's good. I know the twist ending.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
It's
You
still
ruined
good.
it for me. I'm not watching it. Whoa.
I mean, that was my exact reaction.
I know, it's always your reaction when you know the slightest detail of any movie.
I'm like, motherfucker, it's over. Not watching it.
Hmm.
It's like, what was I so mad about? The Saw 10 or whatever?
Yeah, you're mad about 11 and it hasn't even come out yet.
Well, no, Saw 10 I was mad about because like somebody just said like, oh, it takes place between 2 and 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, motherfucker, I didn't even want to know that. Like, I don't want to know anything.
Yeah, well,
I mean, but I don't know what I might have walked out of the fucking theater if I didn't know that it was between 2 and 3. I might have fucking left.
Being like, when was this made? Like, what was this supposed to be?
No, I'd have been like, motherfucker, it's not a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
It's a stupid requel, whatever bullshit. I feel with Saw 10, I feel very much, it's the closest I'll ever be to a true Halloween fan. Like the movie series. Yeah, because but I can look at the Saw movies and know that most of the early ones suck.
Now.
People, now. But even now, people can't admit that the early Halloween movies suck. Especially 1 and 2.
Well, see, then
fight me, motherfuckers. Fight me. But I mean but I do see it because people are like, oh, Halloween Ends is terrible. But people that aren't necessarily like hardcore Saw fans are like, Saw 10's great. I loved it. It took place between 2 and 3 and everything was cool. And I'm going to ignore all the shit that they fucked up.
Yeah, our retrospect on that or whatever kind of opened my eyes. I mean, I've probably watched through the franchise for Saw now like 4 times total. I mean, I think maybe one, you know, a lot of them. I think, though, a couple of those movies I had only seen once. So, I mean, if you want to be like exact about it, yes, 3 times, 2 or 3 times, but I've 4.
Well, I saw Saw 3, I've probably seen a dozen times. It was my favorite for a long time.
But now 4, 5, 6.
And now I love 4, 5, and 6. But I didn't hate them. But I didn't think they were better than the early ones, right?
Right.
But man, I mean, just listen to our retrospective. I mean, it's 4 hours long, but just listen to it.
Yeah, go do it. You guys got nothing else to do.
So one of the people that would fight me over me saying Halloween is shitty, do you know who that one person is?
Oh, it has to be Jason down at the dungeon.
Our buddy Jason down at the dungeon loves Halloween. And so he's probably unfriended me. He's going to take the show down. He's not going to sponsor us anymore. We're going to be living on the sidewalk. And he's still going to be selling amazing products at the dungeon, which you can find in Maryville, Tennessee on East Broadway at the roundabout. And you can go right there into a physical store. It's there. It's not on the internet. You can walk in, you can touch things, you can touch yourself as long as the cameras aren't looking at you, and don't let Jason see that. That's weird. But if you don't live in Maryville, it's okay. Just follow him. And even if you do live in Maryville, follow him on social media, Instagram, Southland_Dungeon. You can also follow him on Facebook. He posts everything he gets in, and you can just email him. Message him on Instagram. That's your best bet. Message him and say, hey, I want that. And he'll say, it's this much. And you'll say, great. And he'll say, okay, I'll ship it to you.
That's the process.
And it's that easy. And what will he ship to you? What are some of the things that he could ship to you, Jeff?
A slap, a punch, a headbutt. No, but also DVDs, Blu-rays,
hatred, curse words.
He does those digitally, but it's
physical crackers. He'll throw crackers at you.
Physical media, he'll send you the best of the best. He's got all the boutique label Blu-rays, 4Ks, DVDs. He's got regular. He's got tons and tons of VHS, video games, consoles, magazines, vinyl, some Funko Pops. Probably, man. I don't know. Has he still been doing his tarot card reading stuff, or did he kind of give up that dream?
Nah, you take the wins and losses. He still does them on the side, but
I think we burned him out having too many people go in.
Yeah, so many people went in there.
Just those readings, top notch.
Yeah, one after another.
Yeah. Couldn't really focus on his main sales of entertainment, so he had to give it up.
Have we actually talked about Altered yet?
Not really. No. We're about.
We got about 15 minutes, folks. Here we go. Kind of an isolation movie. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean it's all set in one location essentially.
Basically, and I mean you get the woods, dude. I love the opening of this movie. I would watch an hour and a half of like people trying to catch aliens and like going through the woods and like tracking them, and I thought it was fascinating, and I thought it was the most real. Like a friend, like the dialogue is good, and you can believe them as friends, but I feel like they're all getting along, but they're giving each other shit. Whereas later in the movie, they don't get along, and they're not giving each other shit as much, which I usually hate, like Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. I hate people being mean to each other. But I just have a feeling that these were friends. Like, whereas Guardians of the Galaxy, I can't actually believe that they're friends.
Yeah.
Like, they're just assholes to one another.
Pretty much.
And that's fine for some people, but I hate that part of Marvel.
I think, staying away from a lot of spoilers in this movie would help because it like you were saying, it is an alien movie, but it does, I think it's unique enough. And the storytelling for the most part, like how it's written, the believability of some of the stuff feels very natural and very good within the film. So the backstory, the way they talk about the backstory, I loved how, because they don't have like a huge exposition dump where they just stop and don't you remember when we were 14? And then like flashback to that. They just have dropped little hints at kind of what happened to them
and so much so that you could believe that this is a sequel. Yeah. I mean, I think it's done that well that you could think that it's just a sequel, that you were expected to see the first one, but if you didn't see it, you could believe this one.
Yeah.
You could just see this one.
Yeah, you're seeing these people get revenge for what happened in the first one, essentially. That doesn't exist. But yeah, no, I really like it. There's a few parts, and I do want to give a spoiler warning when I talk about them. But I mean, is there anything you want to say, anything else really you want to talk about on this one?
I mean, I think without like in a spoiler-free section here, I think it's a solid movie. I think more maybe not so much of an isolation movie would have been a little better. I felt like the environment wasn't interesting enough.
Just like a boring garage, essentially.
And I didn't really understand it. It's like there were barns, there's a garage, the door is the garage has a bedroom, or is the garage attached to the house, or where is the house on this property? Like I didn't really understand. So I think if you're gonna do like an isolation piece, like I feel like you have to it's got to be interesting, right? And it's got to be well defined, and it's got to be a character. And I don't feel like this movie does that. I don't feel like it makes the environment a character.
It sort of does towards the end, but like I think
okay, I'll give you that. Yes. I mean I'll give you that. It is a damn great character at the end, but
Yeah. So I mean, I think you're focusing on the wanting more from the environment, and they are focused. Eduardo Sanchez focused on mostly their story and the alien as our focal point. So it could have been anywhere that they were, but it would have been the same people and the same thing being there that would have been the important part. But yes, I get it. It's a little boring. It's a little kind of like weird layout. It doesn't make any sense. I get that. So I'm not like saying you're wrong for thinking that those things are kind of stupid, because they are kind of stupid. But if you just sort of like look past that only to focus on what he wants you to focus on, which is like the people and the circumstance, then I think it kind of clears that up a little bit where it doesn't play as big of a part, but not a big deal. Like,
Yeah, I mean, and it's not a deal breaker. It's just something that bothered me a little bit. But yeah, let's just spoil some things since we're here.
yeah, I mean, typically we've been doing pretty good as a like spoiler-free podcast, but I do want to talk about that. This movie's almost 20 years
Look,
old
they
now.
got a 30-minute podcast up until now.
That's true. So yeah, so the setting becomes important because essentially it's a cage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just a giant exploding cage that he's built essentially for whatever reason. But the part I don't like about it is kind of how we mentioned that the aliens on screen a little too much for my liking. And
Yeah.
then the part I really dislike, and this is a major, major spoiler. So if you really want to watch the movie, go watch it, come back to like the 31-minute mark of our podcast and hear us out. But I don't know how about. So there's one story in the whole film. He's saying like we can't harm this alien, we can't kill this alien because they will wipe out humanity.
Yeah.
And he makes that a point like 3 times to like multiple people.
Yeah.
But nobody cares. They want the alien dead because it's a revenge film essentially, right? And it's
Yeah. No, 100%.
And so at the end, the aliens like know where he's at because they have these cool little
Tracker things in
little
their
tracking things.
stomach. Yeah.
Yeah, and they implant them in their victims too. And so at the end, like there's a full-on alien ship like invading the house, and it doesn't look that good.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. And so there's aliens like all over the house, and they go hide in that like explosive bunker under the house, and they blow up all the aliens that are invading. And that explosion that kills all those aliens scares the ship off, and instantly it's like shoop shoop shoop, and like shoots off the screen. And I was like, oh, come on. Like,
it doesn't bother me. I mean, I get it. I think they shouldn't have made a big deal about like if we kill this one, like they'll attack, because I mean there had to be more aliens in that ship than on the ground. Mm-hmm. So you would think that that would piss them off and they would attack.
And they just left. They're just like,
and maybe the point is like the aliens weren't as bad as they thought they were.
Yeah, and our main character, he's like immune to every alien thing, right? Like, because you touch him, you get infected. A bite like acidities you away. Like,
yeah, for some reason he's like connected to them,
right? And he was saying that they're scared of him for that reason. And then the other thing I had a little issue with was that part where he gets out of the truck with his girlfriend. I mean, I liked those scenes because it was tense. Like when they're driving, he's like, "They're here, I feel them."
Yeah.
But then he's like in a field going back towards his house, and like they all walk by him, and he just sits there, and they don't see him, but they walk like into him. Like, what was that about? That kind of confused me. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like they didn't do a good job explaining his quote unquote powers, right? So I feel like some of the powers he could do is like with his mind he could like make the alien fly across the room, which
he has, because the aliens can control.
And so with his mind he could make the aliens not see him.
Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense, because they have.
So that's kind of what I thought, because I was like, what's happening? Because he closed his eyes and you just saw like things. It was like they were playing Ring Around the Rosie or some shit.
Yeah, because that's how that was like one thing I did like that the aliens had like that telepathic thing where they could kind of control you with their eyes if they see you, and that guy put like a welding mask on it. I thought that was kind of a cool little touch.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
I love that. And then the welding mask cracked.
They just there's one point where they just beat him, like just beat the alien like with the bat in the head. Like
yeah, I was just waiting for him to do like a Full Metal Jacket and like, you know, put the sheet over him and just fucking slap him with socks and shit.
Yeah, like that's like you at times you kind of feel bad for the alien. You're like, what are they doing to this guy? But then you're
at
like,
a certain point, it was weird. Like I like the movie a lot. Actually, I really do. I mean, I like it because it's different from other stuff.
right.
I like it because the alien, yes, they show it a lot, and yes, sometimes it doesn't look good, but the design is different than most aliens.
Yeah.
They've got like smaller eyes.
Yeah.
And I love their teeth. Like their teeth are fucking badass.
It has that cool like triangle mouth. Almost looks like a Resident Evil like fish creature or something. Like it opens up like in their head and like mouth. And the teeth are cool. The alien's like a vicious little guy, like doing everything he can too to escape too. I kind of like that, but I mean,
when they walk into that room and that fucking alien's just fucking pulling intestines out of that
so
dude.
Cool. That was so cool.
Yeah. And I mean, the makeup is, I mean, from what I could tell, all the makeup was basically actually there and done very well. And like Cody towards the end, he's like mutating almost.
Yeah. The part where like the acid ate him away so far, but the alien's controlling him and his arms, both of his arms are just like,
yeah. I think, you know, they spent so much. I don't know how they could have done it a little better. You know, as far as like, you don't want to give away like all the powers, but I feel like there should have been a little bit more explanation on like, how did this guy know he had the powers? What exactly can he do? You know?
Yeah. And I think, you know, you're referring to him as powers, but it's more like immunities, I guess, to what they're doing and him being able to like stop them from
maybe, but he's telepathically slinging aliens across the room.
Yeah, it makes you feel like he has like the alien gene or something in him, where it's the same stuff that they have, and that's why people are so scared of him. But I don't know.
Yeah,
there's a few little things, yes, that could have been worked out, plot places, stuff like that. But yeah, I think we cover we're like, this is like our slow burn episode where we slowly got everybody to the story of this, and then we talked about it in the last. We Blair Witched it, I guess.
Yeah. We're in the cabin, folks.
Yeah, we're in the cabin. But I think that's about pretty much all I'd want to say on it for right now, because I think if they for sure worth watching. You don't hear anybody talk about this, not even among like alien movies. Like, why is no one talking?
No, nobody. I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
And
I was like, Altered State? I don't know.
I hadn't seen it, but I had heard about it like a few times, and I was like, I really want to watch that. And then I had the DVD, and I forgot.
So the thing about, and I had to rent the fucking thing, motherfucker. I'm gonna start sending you bills.
Yeah, put it on the tab.
Yeah. The thing about these kind of episodes where we, I like them the most and I actually want to do more because I think they're better. Like, I don't really like doing a breakdown of every scene and telling the whole story and all that. I mean, we'll probably still always be a spoiler podcast, but I like, when we do movies that have a cast to talk about them. I mean, sometimes we do movies where there's not much to talk about, but I mean, when you have Lou Brown from fucking Major League, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to tiptoe around and like actually put out an entertaining product if you can't really say anything about a thing too. So,
well, yeah, but we said 10 minutes worth.
Yeah, no, we're good. We did it.
All right. Well, how many welding masks out of 5 would you give this movie?
I give this one a solid 4 out of 5.
A solid 4 out of 5. That's high. Ooh, that's higher than me, and I thought I liked it more.
No, see, I like this movie a lot.
I give it a 3.5. I think it's good. I think I think it has a rewatchability factor. If I owned it, I would watch it again, but I didn't. I just rented it, and it's digital, and I can never get it again. But no, it's very well done. It's well directed. The special effects are pretty decent for a movie that, in all likelihood, did not have a budget because it went straight to DVD, right?
I think so. I meant to look that up, but then I just, it's our podcast, so like we don't do that kind
We
of stuff.
don't do that,
No,
Jeff.
we don't do anything of that sort. I'm
Don't
gonna take a
fucking
look at
start
it.
now.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever went to theaters. I mean, not of
Oh,
anything.
all right. So it must have been like a 1 week thing because it had a budget of about 8 million and grossed 43,000. So that's why nobody talks about it.
Yeah, but when like California and all those weird places, they put movies in. Like Maryville, Tennessee is not fucking getting or Pueblo. Does
Yeah.
Pueblo have a fucking movie theater?
Yeah. We got
Ooh,
one.
that's
I worked
probably a
at it,
shining
remember?
star. That's probably a shining star.
It's not good. It's okay. It's a Tinseltown Cinemark or whatever.
No IMAX.
No, you have to go to Springs for that.
So I know we did this last time, and we did not fulfill our agreement with saying what films we were doing, but I'm pretty confident we'll make it through.
Yeah.
So what are we doing next week, Jeff?
So next week we are covering Grave Encounters from I think 2011, and the reason I decided on that is because I've been on a Ghost Hunters Ghost Adventures binge, like a drug addict, for the past few weeks, and I'm like, oh man. And I've seen
That's why you've not been talking to me.
Yeah. I'm just, hey man, I
You're
gotta
just like,
Zach
oh,
Baggins.
I need Ghost Hunters. Hit me, man.
Yeah, but so we're doing that, and then we're gonna go back to Eduardo Sanchez, and we're gonna cover Exists, and then we are going to
Exists is the found footage Bigfoot movie,
right, and then we're gonna do Drag Me to Hell, and then we have
because we mentioned it like 2 weeks ago, and Jeff's like, we're fucking covering it.
Sounded fun.
No, it's PG-13 horror and done good, and Sam Raimi and Justin Long. Spoiler: he actually lives through a horror movie, so there's that.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a couple of things, and then it's the road to FrankenCon. We're gonna have some special guests. We're gonna have some cool movies, like we're gonna cover Thanksgiving, Society. What else did I say? Nightmare Sisters, which I love. I love Nightmare Sisters.
Probably
it's great.
Yeah, and probably.
And I love that. What?
And probably Devil's Rejects as well.
And Devil's Rejects. But I was going to talk about Nightmare Sisters because I watched it when the Vinegar Syndrome came out.
Yeah.
When that copy. That is a gorgeous. That is when they were just nailing slipcovers, and they had me.
It was so
They had me.
Yeah.
And now they don't.
Oh, well, good for your wallet.
I mean, good for my wallet, because the Uncle Sam's getting all my fucking money this year.
The movie that we covered?
I wish. I would rather put $8,000 into Uncle Sam 2.
Yeah, well, wouldn't we all?
Yeah. So that's it. We got some cool stuff coming up over the next couple months. We appreciate you. We don't hammer you down with commercials. We don't really tell you to do things at the beginning of the show. So now we will take that time to just remind you to visit Southland_Dungeon on Instagram. Also on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. You can follow and like and tell us you love us. Night of the Nerdy Laser is all on those applications. Dude, we're spoiler alert, we don't do this live, but shut down. Facebook and Instagram shut down for like an hour and a half today, and I almost had a heart attack.
Really?
Yeah, there was a nationwide outage for like an hour and a half. And my boss made me go to lunch early, and that's when it was out. And I was like, you made me waste a whole fucking half hour. I didn't say fucking on my lunch. She's like, why? I was like, Because Facebook is out. What am I supposed to do?
God.
It
Well,
doesn't help. It doesn't help that Frank, like that's my communication with a lot of people. And so, yeah,
yeah.
it doesn't help. And like FrankenCon, like I live and breathe by FrankenCon, especially right now. And it's just always good. We get messages all the time and stuff. So I was like, and I was going to do a post on Instagram and I fucking couldn't. So still not done, by the way.
Yeah,
Well,
they could
that's
go get
it.
some. Yeah, before that's it, they could
No,
go find
that's
some
it.
Spotify.
Don't review us because
No.
there's no sense. It's 2 years. Nobody's fucking reviewed
Oh,
us.
all right. But if you guys want to, go over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us those 5 stars and give us a nice little review. It's free for you guys, and we appreciate it.
Email us at nightofthenerdylaser@gmail.com and tell us how much you hate us. Because it's not true. That's not the only email we've ever gotten. We did get one very nice email, so I appreciate that.
We're back to neutral at this point.
Yeah, we're neutral. So either jump us up or put us
Knock
down,
us down,
whichever. We don't really care at this point. At least I look at it from a wrestling standpoint, right? When you come out, you want to be cheered or booed.
Right.
If the crowd is silent, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
And our crowd is silent right now.
Yeah.
So
I'm fine playing the heel or the face. It don't matter.
What should they do?
Oh man, they need to keep it bloody.
Because somebody has to.